The scream didn't come from her mouth. It came from the tearing sound, fabric ripping like a gunshot down the hallway, and every locker door seemed to flinch. For one frozen second, the school stopped breathing. 3 boys laughed, 100 phones lifted, and the shy new girl, the one no one knew yet, stood there with her dress torn and her eyes burning, not with tears, but with a promise nobody understood until it was too late. She had learned early that being quiet made you invisible, and being invisible kept you safe. That's what her mother told her on the bus ride that first morning, fingers tight around a paper lunch bag, voice soft with hope. New school, new start. Just keep your head down. So she did. She walked the hallways like a shadow, hugging her books, counting steps between classes, memorizing where the cameras didn't reach. Her name was Mina, but no one asked. They called her the new girl, like she was an object left behind. The boys noticed her on day 3. They always did. Big voices, bigger egos, the kind that fed on reactions. Mina didn't give them one. She slid past jokes, swallowed insults, pretended not to hear the whispers about her accent, her thrift store dress, the way she flinched when someone moved too fast. What they didn't know, what no one knew, was that her silence wasn't weakness. It was control. The hallway was crowded that Friday. The bell had just rung, the air buzzing with weekend energy. Mina felt the presence behind her before she felt the hands, a shove, laughter, then the sharp pull at her dress. The sound echoed. Gasps followed. Someone shouted, someone filmed. The boys laughed harder, feeding on the shock, on her stillness. Mina looked down at the torn fabric, at the exposed seam her mother had sewn the night before. Her chest tightened, not with shame, but with memory. Long mornings in a small dojo, calloused floors. Her father's calm voice telling her that strength wasn't about anger, it was about timing. You don't start fights, he'd say. You end them. She lifted her head. The boy closest to her smirked, stepping in, ready with another joke. He never saw her pivot, never saw her feet plant. The chop was clean, sharp, precise, years of discipline compressed into one breath. His laugh turned into a gasp as he dropped. The sound knocked out of him before his body hit the floor. The second boy lunged, fueled by panic and pride, and she turned again, elbow, sweep, down. The third froze, fear finally louder than cruelty. The hallway erupted. Teachers ran. Phones fell. Mina stood there, heart pounding, dress torn, hands steady. For the first time since she'd arrived, every eye saw her, not as a victim, but as something else entirely. They took her to the office. Questions came fast. Accusations followed. Mina answered quietly, honestly. She didn't cry. She didn't beg. She explained. The video played over and over. Each replay peeled the laughter away and replaced it with something uncomfortable. Truth. The boys were suspended. The principal cleared his throat more than he spoke. Mina walked home alone that day, the weight of the world lighter and heavier all at once. She didn't know what Monday would bring. Rumors, stares, consequences. But she knew one thing as she stitched her dress that night, hands moving with practiced calm. She would never apologize for defending herself. Monday came like a held breath. The hallway felt different, like it remembered. People watched her now, not with hunger but with curiosity. Some looked away, some smiled. One girl, short, freckled, nervous, walked up and said, "Thank you." She said she wished she had Mina's courage. Mina smiled back, small but real. More thank yous followed, quiet ones. Confessions whispered between lockers. Stories of lunches eaten in bathrooms, of insults swallowed whole. Mina listened. She didn't preach. She didn't boast. She just listened. And somehow that was enough. The dojo reopened in the school gym after hours. It started with 3 students, then 10, then more. Not to learn how to fight, but how to stand, how to breathe when fear knocks, how to use strength without becoming cruel. Mina taught them what her father taught her, that power is responsibility and silence doesn't mean surrender. The boys avoided her after they returned. Their laughter never sounded the same. The hallway learned a lesson that day, one it wouldn't forget. You never know what someone is carrying beneath their quiet. On the last day of school, Mina wore the same dress, mended, stronger at the seams. As she walked down the hallway, no one touched her, not because they were afraid, but because they understood. And somewhere between the lockers and the exit, Mina realized she wasn't invisible anymore. She never had been. She had just been waiting for the moment to be seen, not as a girl who was hurt, but as a girl who stood up, and in doing so, helped others stand too.